Colin Campbell, the founder of .club domains. Domains have been, in the internet has been a passion of mine actually since the early 90s when I started Two Cows and then another company called Hostopia, some hosting companies along the way, and it all led up to launching what I feel is really a community of communities, TLD. We're not a community application, but we serve so many communities in the world. There are so many different types of clubs and individuals who have passion, who come together. And what we really want to do is make that easy. We want to make it easy for sports enthusiasts, for fan clubs, for social clubs, even nightclubs. We want to make it very easy for people to come together with an easy brand and support that with technology. Yeah, for us, we looked at a lot of TLDs, and we really settled on one that we felt had real meaning and could define a community. And there are literally millions and millions of clubs around the world. In fact, we did a study about 20 million clubs, and that doesn't even include the Facebook groups and the Yahoo groups and the LinkedIn groups. I mean, these are all online people coming together who have similar interests online and forming their own little communities. So to make it easy for them to define that community by having a brand, we think that's the first step. The types of communities, I mean, obviously there are so many. You know, when you talk about clubs, you've got the very exciting area of sports, and you just put up the automobiles. You can have the Mercedes-Benz .club, or you can have the Weber .club. There are so many different types of communities that come together, and it's just, I think the whole ICANN process, allowing, giving priority to communities to set up a TLD, I think that was a very smart process. But the reality is it only addresses a very small number of larger communities that can afford the expensive application process. And I think TLDs like .green or .wiki or .club or even .berlin and NYC, I think these are all TLDs that we have to recognize are communities. And I really believe by bringing people together and making it easy for them through technology, through platform development, working with the registrars working with the registries, all working together to create the platform, I think it can make it very easy for people to come together. And we decided to launch an open TLD, no restrictions. It's a very we wanted to have a very low price, mainstream pricing, under $10 pricing for our TLD, so that it can make it easy for people to get online. I think working with the registrars, we have to think a little differently about how we target. I mean, traditionally it's to sell email hosting, and I think this is an opportunity with all these new GTLDs, with hopefully more competition, driving the prices down to bring more communities and more groups into the domain area. There are 36,000 Rotary clubs. Instead of just marketing on a website or on television commercials, contacting those Rotary clubs. There are, again, mentioned hundreds of millions of Facebook groups. Instead of just having a name with the Facebook, long URL that you don't have any control over, you can create a brand for your own group, your own club, your own community with a domain name at a low cost. So I'm certain companies like GoDaddy and 101 should look at, and working with the registries, should look at different targets, different distribution markets to target. You've seen a couple of platforms developing around community as well. I mean, Jody Rich at People Browser, I think Fred Kruger, he's got a platform he's developing. I really think, again, traditional web hosting and email, that was the way of the past. It's not the way of the future. And I think your point that you just made there, it directly, it is the point. Like, we can't just stop with the domain name. I think registrars, registries, third-party providers, we all need to invest in making it cheap and simple so that many online communities, millions and millions of them, can form around the suburb of New York called Fort Lauderdale. We have so many people define themselves as from New York. So I really, sometimes when you're trying to define a community and you put restrictions on it, you can actually, miss out a large group of people who identify themselves as New Yorkers.
Yeah, I was born in New York, so I am a New Yorker. I went to high school in Fort Lauderdale, and my father was a New York City policeman for 20 years. So the people working on NYC at Neustar are New Yorkers at heart. The good news is I still have family physically in New York, so I can relate to it.
Yeah, for us, it's a real challenge, I have to say, because .club means and spells the same in every country in the world. And it's massive in China, clubs. The academic clubs in China, and India, in Japan, in Germany. So what we've done is we've hired a staff of people. We've brought an individual in from Oman who's Indian. We brought in somebody from Germany into Fort Lauderdale, so it's an interesting group of people we have, and we're looking at adding more and more staff to help with the social networking and the marketing and really, promoting the idea of coming together. An example, my daughter is 14 years old. She wants to start 221b.club, and as you know, it's Sherlock Holmes' address. She's a real Sherlock Holmes enthusiast. She's a fan of Sherlock Holmes, and she wants to bring other fans together as well. RollingStones.com means something very different than RollingStones.club. RollingStones.club means come together, be part of something.